everyone, welcome back to the CollabCast. I'm Katie Cusack, editor, and I'm here with the amazing singer-songwriter, artist extraordinaire, Olivia Quillio. How are you?
I'd say that?
Okay,
wow, within the first drop.
Yeah.
I'm great. I'm doing really great.
Good.
How are you?
Pretty good. You know, it goes. Podcast day. It's a big day for us.
Love it.
For America.
Well, it's Friday, which we all know
Yeah.
is a day for America.
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
something. It's supposed to be our day or something.
It's
That's what capitalism gives us. You can have Friday night, Saturday, and part of Sunday.
the freaking weekend, baby.
Boycott, right? Ooh. Sorry, let's go right into that. Let's boycott
right.
R. Kelly.
Wow.
Dead
Yeah,
ass. I mean,
true.
like how much did that song sneak
right.
into your peripheral, and not even your peripheral, just like
because that's just a thing people say, but I didn't even make that connection until you're.
I'm trying to go that
Wow.
deep. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, he's in
worst.
court right now.
He's a trash human.
Yeah, he's like been that.
Yeah.
We got to start understanding that people who make good art also have the capacity to be evil.
True.
Like Donald Trump. He makes great art though.
He's such a great artist.
He does. I mean,
Chris
come on.
Brown.
Chris
Hate
Brown.
that guy.
I can't even remember a song that Chris Brown did, to be honest with you. But
That's good.
power to his
Wipe him
healing.
right out. I mean, maybe.
Power to all of our healings.
Yeah.
I mean, just the healing part.
Sure.
I don't know about the rest of it, but power to your healing, Chris Brown,
We'll
CB.
see where it goes. See if he'll actually do it this time. It's like the fifth try.
We won't know. It's all like that's the funny thing about celebrities and us like keeping such like hard path on their fucking like, oh, and what are they doing now? It's like, bitch, you don't know. This is just an illusion of thinking that like, yeah, like I really like I put my emotional energy into somebody else's good fight. Because it's like focus on yourself.
Yeah.
We are not gonna know about Chris Brown. We didn't before. We're not gonna know then. Unless Chris comes to my house, which he is not allowed to come.
He's not allowed
I
to go to my house.
I don't know him.
He needs to stop asking.
He doesn't ask. He doesn't ask because we don't know each other. And that's like the whole thing that's funny about just anybody in the past 5 years, it seems like with Instagram, like
Yeah.
people really love getting riled up about like, you know, the genuity and the validity of other people's actions. What about your actions? I don't know. Are you checking yourself that hard? Doubt it.
Yeah. It's pretty valid.
It can be.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you're pretty good on Instagram, though, about checking in with yourself and others and the world.
Is that what you, yeah. That's what you mean by good?
Yeah, that's how, yeah.
I try, dude. I've been on Instagram since it became a thing.
Yeah.
So this year I did a really, really hard practice of like, I don't know, I had like 1,200, 600 posts, something. I'd already gone through once and like deleted half the posts. And realizing that Instagram for me, it's like, I try to condition the advertisements to be as nice as I possibly can because they're advertisements. I'm a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
This is a platform to advertise what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You know what I mean? So I was like, let's go on there and intentionally take out anything that you posted that wasn't for advertisement. That was super fucking hard. Super hard to like, it was hard to like look at a picture of the sunset that I posted 4 years ago or a picture of my cat that I posted 7 years ago and like let go of it because I could feel all of the like energy of like, I posted this to get likes. You know, none of us get to escape that like indulgence.
Mentality.
Yeah, right. Like we're all of it. So it's really funny. That's like my tie back to the whole being able to judge others so inherently, like, oh, when they get better and I'm not, what they're doing is super problematic. It's like, okay, cool, but like, I don't know, I'm advertising on there. So I try to be as honest as possible and also try to like keep sort of tapping the glass of the advertisement paradigm in there to be like, guys, hi, hello, this isn't real. Like it's real, but it's created so that you listen to my art. Nothing else. And then most of that's just come out of like anger. It's like the way people treat each other on that app, Instagram specifically, is so
Yeah.
it's wild. It's just wild. That's all I got. So yeah, I try to be honest with people
Yeah.
and only present. I stripped down my Instagram when I did this. I was sitting at Stacks in Albany and I stripped it down to 9 posts out of like the 700 that had been there. And it was like an emotional process. Yeah. And to like inspect everything that I had posted to really look at it was like, yeah, wow. Like I've used this as a crutch over the years. I used this as a crutch 6 months ago. I used this as a crutch 6 years ago. I'm not the worst person for doing that. I'm doing what my generation does, what people do now. But I did the same thing with Facebook. I deleted all of my personal friends and put a status update before that was like, hey, maybe you should like my music page. Don't know why I need to have a personal page on Facebook to have a music page.
Right.
It's all bullshit.
Yeah. So is it more about like taking yourself out of like the social media realm so that you can better promote your art, or is it just that you want to be separate from it entirely?
It's a mix.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an indulgent thought, being separate of it. I can't.
Right.
You can't. You can't live in this society and be separate of it. But I'm trying to show people just what I'm putting in there and how much it comes with me in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I turn off my phone now at night when I go to sleep.
Nice.
I set an alarm somewhere else. And it's like, dude, if you sit down and think about consciously, it hurts. It really fucking hurts. But it's like when you consciously think about how often you want to grab your phone for comfort, how much even...
For distraction.
Even while I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about if I'm getting messages. If I wake up, it's like, oh, cool, I could just like check this really quick. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's become so dependent. Yeah.
And it's not of us. You are not your phone, right? You are not what your phone does. So that's part of what I'm trying to do with social media, is just that, like, you know, a lot of us have some like the seeing is not that difficult once you accept that, like, social media has been a part of our lives since we were teenagers or earlier. But
we did live, like, our generation did live without it.
That's an ish, I think.
For, like, a part of our lives.
True. I guess it's like, how old were you when you got your first cell phone?
Yeah. I was a freshman in high school.
Mm-hmm.
In high school. So probably like 15.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
But I feel, so I have like, I'm the oldest out of my siblings. I have a younger sister and 3 younger stepbrothers, other step siblings on the other side too. But, you know, the youngest one is like 22 and he has had a cell phone since he was like 13.
Right.
So it's like within that generation, there's an interesting cutoff. It seems like 92 or 3, maybe you remember what it was like. But it wasn't like, it quickly became a new way of life.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the whole like, just like, what would you be doing if you didn't have a phone?
Yeah. I left mine at home a few days ago, and it was like a very freeing thing. Where at first I was like annoyed that I couldn't get my work done because so much of it is like updating and doing whatever and like engaging and like interacting, you know, because you have to like keep doing that to be relevant in some way. And then I was like, man, I can't wait to I'm going to like sit at lunch and read a book and like nobody's going to bother me. And like, why do we think that we can't do that when we like have our phone on us too?
It's just a lie.
Yeah.
And it's also like phones tether us to this other emotional indulgence of staying bratty. Dead ass. If you think about it, like people, oh, well, I just don't have and I'm nervous. And I'm like, it's like, you can have a capacity to be short and annoyed and nervous and anxious if you don't have the thing that's keeping your life together. And it's like,
right.
Sorry that I'm so like sweary, but like, bitch, you're the thing that keeps your life together. Holy shit, stop putting so much power in your fucking phone.
Yeah.
Like I feel this way about Instagram stories, which is why like half the time I feel like I'm posting them all day. And the other half of the time I'm like, here's just my show announcements. Because like when I have something to say, I have something to say. But like if you're just posting like you're sitting somewhere and you're just posting what's happening, it's like clearly a projection of like, I don't know what that's a projection of, but it's just weird that that's become a reality.
It's this weird thing where people want to interact with people, but they don't want to be the first person to like reach out to an actual human being. They just want to send something out like into the open airwaves and see who responds, right? It's
like posing at the most like fundamentally small level. It's like, this is like sitting in your 7th grade classroom and not speaking and just holding pictures up outside of you and waiting for students to come talk to you.
Oh my God.
And that's what I'm saying. It's funny because
So
it's fucking
accurate.
true.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean about like enabling the indulgence of brattiness. You get to not build social skills on here.
Yeah.
You get to pretend that like this person from Wisconsin that messaged you gives a shit about you. Oh, it hurts my heart. Like, wake the fuck up, everyone. Oh my God. 1,000 likes or not. Like, if you're lonely at the end of the day and you don't have someone that you can talk to outside of texting, you don't have someone that you can call that will know by the way you're breathing how you're feeling,
Yeah.
what do you have?
So where do you find sort of like grounding power? Is that through music or is that through other like outlets in your life?
It's definitely through music. I have to recognize, and it makes me nervous. I've been, as you can see, I'm fidgeting. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've been away for so long and let myself absorb into the new world of like, if I sang this quarter of a song on the Instagram story, it's like I did work because I put it to the outside, right? But then if you don't keep singing the song in your room, and it took me a long time to admit that like I was stuck in that pattern of
Yeah.
being like just good enough to be like impressive, which doesn't make you work on yourself, let me tell you, it does not. But it makes you have this idea that like maybe you are, or that like maybe when somebody gives me something, I'll keep working harder, which is dangerous in itself. What was your original question?
Just sort of like music as a grounding thing. I
Grounding,
guess.
yeah, I guess like that's it exactly. It's
Right.
like going back into the phone more instead of the music more took me out of myself. Music is one of the only, I won't say it's the only thing that grounds me. Nature grounds me, other things, but like, you know, like when you get back to the gym and you haven't been to the gym in a while or an exercise routine, you have to sort of like get through like the first 2 weeks. Like that's how playing music is for me. When I'm done with a show, like I played at the Berlin in Troy the other night.
Yeah.
Great show. And when I got done, I was like, it's like getting done with the yoga class or something. I was like, oh yes, I feel so much like myself.
Yeah.
But you know, it is a commitment to like every day, at least an hour, every day, at least a thing. And it has felt like dying because traversing the space I put between me and my music is like a dead social media space, a dead sort of looking at my phone space. And like, I have to sing through that disassociativeness. And it's
Yeah.
it doesn't just go away. It's like, I actually have to sit there and be like, I feel like I just want to not, and I just have to do. So it's a lot like rebuilding patterns right now.
Yeah.
For grounding. Meditating has helped me immensely. I'm releasing my next record with the idea that it is a meditation record. I'd like to release all my music with that idea. I mean, all music is healing, but it's like set an
Yeah.
intention and lay down. That's the only, like, you know, it's not the only. I hate the only. I don't know where the only is coming from. It's so extreme. And hate is too, right? But
Yeah.
yeah. Breathing, which you got to do a lot of to sing. Concentrating, translating my power into things that are palpable outside of me, like song grounds me.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what everyone needs, to be able to see their worth reflected in something else,
Yeah.
even whatever it is, you know, outside of you, from you, outside of you, not in the machine.
Snaps. So you said that you are releasing a new album. You mentioned before we started that you think that you finished it last night.
Yeah.
And that's Troy Pohl of the city of Troy.
He actually
kind
lives in
of.
Albany now, but
Does he?
yeah, OG
But he works
from
with
Troy.
a lot of Troy people.
Well, we've all
Sort of like
migrated that way, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
I love it.
I know.
yeah.
So many people will come up to me and it's like a secret where it's like, oh, I'm moving to Troy, and I'm like, okay, like don't tell the Albany people, I guess, because there is an interesting.
It's,
I don't know.
There's an interesting allegiance.
Dynamic.
Yeah,
Yes.
to Albany, or to like making it work there.
Yeah.
I think that's a collective energy that has to do with commuters and state workers. There's so much energy of like, I have to go back to my state job. I don't think that people recognize that energy is perhaps not of them, but of Albany. Because, yeah, it's like, I'm escaping. I'm going to the other side. It's like,
Here I
I'm
go.
indulging in myself.
Yes.
Fucking good, dude. You should be doing that. Do that.
Come on over.
Yeah, come on over. I mean, it's also like,
Yeah.
we're not going to be waiting with balloons. I mean, we might be. But
Possible.
yeah, depending on the day. But yeah, it's cool to see that migration.
But how is your album going?
album?
Yeah.
It's going super well. These songs are telling a story that is, a lot of my songs I'll write, and it'll be this huge blast of emotion, and I get put on my shit, and, then I perform them, and other people feel them, which is the whole idea with creative art. And then, 6 months to 5 years after, I'll be playing the show, and I'll be playing the song, and be like, oh, that's what this was about. So a lot of them are premonitory, and, have told my future in ways that I couldn't have ever known. There's a eerie thing that's happening with this record, Earthside. It's not eerie, it's super loving and high-powered and connected, but each song feels like a trance vibe. I go into trance every time I play these songs.
It's that meditative power of it, right?
Yes. And it's called Earthside, and it is truly about, me understanding that I'm on this planet for a reason. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I would have gotten into, my interdimensionality and aliens and blah, blah, blah. But, we can put all that aside for a second because we came here to be humans, Earthside. And, what my experience of, grounding out my shit and understanding my own capacity for love and healing while basically, driving around the country heart aimless, a little aimless and sad and lonely and, looking for my thing.
Right.
Touring is really it can be everything, but it's really just you're with you. So the whole record is kind of these 9 songs about driving and being alone with yourself and seeing somebody in your mind that feels like the thing, and then meeting that person and being like, what the hell is going on? And yeah, it's just a true, abandon everything trust, stepping into the unknown. I like to think of it that way. Because that's all I've been able to do to get it out. Troy came over last night, and we recorded the songs in my bedroom, and it just sort of felt like, hey, I think that was it.
Yeah.
I think we've done it 3 or 4 times, but we recorded the whole thing again, and I was like, yeah, it feels like that's it.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
I feel like you've nailed it. How often do you feel like you have reached, or at least gotten really close to, maybe what you initially pictured or planned creatively?
Now I'm on the rainbow speed strip of Super Mario Smash Brothers to that. I feel it constantly. That feeling has been with me since I was 5 or 6 years old. I've known since I was young that this is the only thing that I'm here to do.
Yeah.
And bring people together with that energy, and see people's hearts and souls through music, but also be intellectually is the wrong word, but physically responsible in that, we can be of our hearts and our souls, but we also have to be honest about what's going on.
Yeah.
Everything's not rainbow magic unicorns. So
yeah,
the more I accept that, the more I sort of do the work. I'm having these really amazing experiences right now where I'm singing in weddings. I do wedding season, and I do a lot of other music stuff because that's what musicians do to survive and make it a full time. And I'll sing stuff that I've been singing for years, like Whitney Houston or Alicia Keys, Jackson 5. And there's this power to it that has nothing to do with straining and nothing to do with trying. It's just being. Whew. And it's the lightest and most beautiful feeling. I wish it for everybody. I think that I've had to see myself and accept myself and forgive myself, and also believe that all the trials I've been through are putting me on the path to my stuff. As long as I'm looking at myself, I truly believe that's why I can see myself here. That's why I'm picturing myself the way I did when I was a kid, or what I wanted to be. I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way, and it's the work. It's the self-work, I think. Otherwise, I don't know. I'd be watching TV somewhere.
Right. Or like aimlessly kind of, I know there's a lot of intention.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, dude. That's all I can have now. Intention changes everything.
Yeah.
It truly changes everything. And that's what I realized too, is like I was just like letting my gift sort of like exist above me, and like every once in a while I'd grab it. I used to go out on cross country tours across the US, 6-week long, that I'd book all by myself, out of some sort of like pride scenario and fear scenario that I have inside, that I have to do it all alone. And then I'd go out on the road with bills to pay, with $200. That's it. Period.
Yeah.
And it was sort of this like, okay, gift, show me that you can pay for my life. And it's like, well, that's irresponsible and unsafe, dangerous, like putting myself in an anxiety lock all the time and being like, this is what working for your gift is. So like,
you're like on the wire all the time.
And I think a lot of people think that that's what like living in this world is, like punishing yourself, pushing yourself, and like pushing
to accomplish anything.
Right.
Or to like be a successful person. Like you had to have completely strung yourself out.
And I did. And it broke me. It totally broke me. I didn't want to play music for like 4 months. I've been rebuilding. I had to look at like a bunch of shit from my childhood that was totally blocked. Like,
sure.
I mean, like, it never happened to me kind of thing. And then I remembered it, and, you know, I've been on this whole other redirect bus for 3 years, deep in therapy. How does the person who's so comfortable talking about her feelings have all these feelings that she's never looked at before, you know? And I had to let a lot of my ego shit go. And I had to let a lot of stuff about work go. I worked myself into a pulp, and it didn't make me more worthy of success.
Yeah.
It just made me tired and broken. So that's like the most advice I could give to anybody is like, learn your legend, learn the keys to your own map, that like, if the art is only going to happen when you sleep really well and you don't drink coffee and you let the first 3 hours of the day be your music, well, yeah, maybe that's not going to be every day.
Right.
Maybe you need a job 3 days a week that supports that, but like, start making the plan. Because the universe, if we want to go back to alien level shit or whatever, the universe, higher energy, cannot see that you're reaching for the other stuff it wants to connect to. You can't be a magnet unless you become the other end of the magnet. And it's like, how am I going to become the other end of the magnet if I'm not showing my energy that I'm at least putting in the plan? It's sort of like I'm hitchhiking, and I just want to get like up the California coast. I want to hitchhike up Route 1, right? I'm just going to be at this gas station off an exit off Route 1, 4 miles away, but also not in the gas station, in like the Ponderosa parking lot next door, but inside eating, but I'll be waiting.
Come find me.
Okay, and it's like, how is it going to come find you?
Yeah.
How is you sitting on the couch watching TV and not playing your songs again going to find, you know, it's like, you got to at least get on the road to the path. Stuff will help show up faster for you. Like, so that's been my plan lately, but I just want people to get back on the path. It sucks because when you make a path for yourself, you have to look at all this stuff that you've been doing for a long time that maybe isn't actually who you are.
Right.
And maybe was a fake shine that you needed to have in front of you while you were feeling dull. Everybody feels dull. But it's not like you're going to get on the road to what you want and there's going to be no challenges, which I think is the other part of the Instagram illusion. People come up to me all the time here in the capital region, and I just post where I'm going to play.
Right.
And what I'm doing. And they say, you're really busy. Wow. First thing. And it's this whole like, man, I know that you are not personally trying to dehumanize me, but it's back to my whole thing. Like, it's an advertisement. And like, hey, how are you? You don't have to ask me that, but like, we're not talking about my Instagram. My Instagram isn't who I am. You know, like so.
People want to come up with a common connection.
Right, and it's like, we have that. Look, you and I are talking right now, looking into each other's eyes. It's like not scary, you know? But I can understand why it is for people.
Yeah, sure. It's a process.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
I don't know if I answered your original question, but still.
I think it went in a lot of interesting ways.
I ran.
I'm glad that you did.
Thanks, Katie.
So in terms of traveling and sort of like being on this path, I know you have plans to head back to Texas relatively soon, kind of open-ended. But what do you see sort of like the connection is for you between these two places, and like what brings you kind of seesawing right now?
Yeah. Yeah, Austin's always been a place for me. The funny cosmic joke about Austin is that it's a place for me and what I do.
Yeah.
And I definitely have used romantic distraction or ideas of coupledom to rule my purpose there, as opposed to like letting my music rule my purpose.
Yeah.
So I had to take a fucking break. I have to go back here with like my music glasses on, with like the things where it's like I'm just gonna work and I'm not gonna. It's a big city. There's a lot of nightlife and day life, and it's summery all the time.
It's
so
great.
It is great. It's so beautiful and perfect, but it's easy to float every day.
Yeah.
It's easy. Food is cheap. It's easy to sort of like
exist and like experience other things and not your own.
Yeah, it's easy to let the energy of the city run through you. And so that's been my relationship with it. I appreciate all the lessons that Austin has brought to me. I'd like to go bring my lesson back to it, which is like, if we keep working on our stuff, things are going to happen, because that's how life works, you know?
Yeah.
That is also the Donald Trump way. So, I mean, there's something to be said about hard work or something in America. Like, we do have that mentality. It's just different for all of us. Like, it wasn't a surprise that he was going to get elected by telling, you know, he was such an insignia, such a stigma, such a symbol of hard work in our country because of his material profit.
Right.
So putting that aside, obviously, for a second, it's just like, that's, I think, the crux, the weird fulcrum tipping point that we're at right now is like, what is your work? And are you going to go do it? And
can you prove your work too?
To yourself, like, too, right?
Yeah.
Because authenticity is what people want to see in others. That's what they want to have mirrored back. And my authenticity isn't going to come to me unless I go to Austin and keep looking at myself in the mirror and bringing that energy back on the stage. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said open-ended earlier, and so I just want to clarify that it's like, yeah, if something else were to happen in between there, if there's a better place for me,
right?
Sure. I think that people should always have that out there.
Right.
That, like, you can change if the resources are there, if it's not the thing, but I just want to dance and sing and dance with other people and help people feel themselves. And I'd love to do that in a place where there are just as many tapped in people as there are lost and confused people.
Yeah.
There are. There's a refugee vibe in Austin. And I don't mean that in a offensive way towards minorities. It's just like there is an energy of fleeing that a lot of people who are there came there because they found a sense of belonging and they never left. And sometimes I don't know if that belonging is rooted in complete healthy habits and stuff. No one's completely healthy or whatever, but like I want to bring some of my heart energy back there. I want to go to the border.
Yeah.
You know, I want to sing to the kids. We underestimate the power of our art. So I want to go there and see just how powerful it is. Because I know it's the thing that rips through me. It's my ocean. It's my tide. It's my thing. So like, let her rip.
What do you think some of the lessons that you've learned since coming back here have been? Like, I mean, because like you've gotten to a point, right, where you're like, okay, I feel comfortable enough to pick back up and walk away for however long and to wherever. So like at what point did you realize like I've have enough at this point?
There was a point of realization that really wasn't so much I have enough, but was that like I've been enough my entire life. And there have been emotional circumstances, environmental circumstances from my childhood that have blocked me from understanding that I am worth whatever I want.
Yeah.
That I am worth leaving. And I think I did have to come home. I grew up in Saratoga Springs. My parents divorced when I was 10, and we moved up to this area, Latham, kind of one-parent style with just my mom.
Right.
And it changed everything. So I had to look at a lot of parts of myself that I didn't want to look at in order to feel like I was worthy of pursuing what my heart wants.
Yeah.
And I think that's the block that a lot of people get caught in. But let's not talk about other people. You asked about my lessons. So my lessons this year, you have to actually do the work. It does take as long as it takes. I am a huge advocate at this point, had been before, but now forever will be, about mental health. That, like, I couldn't control the seeing or unseeing and how long that would take of, like, some stuff I experienced.
Yeah.
That was too much for me to see as a kid. I couldn't control that. And I had to just find any way that I felt comfortable. Paranoia is real. PTSD is real. Schizophrenia is real. I'm not saying I have all these things. I'm just trying to list some of the stuff that people, bipolar is real. Like, and your mind really does play tricks on you. I learned a lot about my consumption of media this year, and how much trauma porn there is. When you're healing yourself from traumatic instances, you realize how much our media surrounds us with traumatic material all of the time to desensitize us. This is why kids can get shot and we can sort of just, like, go buy another coffee at Starbucks. You know, like, it's like at night for pleasure, you go home and watch Law and Order SVU or Stranger Things. That's also trauma nostalgia porn, you know?
Yeah.
And not in a way of, like, that's what I mean, is, like, this brattiness that seems to be coming up with our generation specifically, is that, like, you know, a lot of us, I think, are traumatized. A lot of us are carrying genetic material from crazy amounts of compounded nastiness, especially in this country. So what was peace to us as children? What was peace to our parents? Parking us in front of the television, eating a bunch of sugar, getting scented toys, like, being in this fantasy other realm. And, like, our parents created it. It wasn't sustainable. There's no use in blaming them. They didn't know that we couldn't subsist on a fantasy. All they had was bullshit. So you're watching the fantasy break with so many people our age, and the fantasy had to break for me here, in that unless I can let go of some of these aspects I took on in childhood, I will never let myself be as powerful as I am.
Yeah.
I will keep using these stories to bring myself down. I will keep using these stories to make other people's actions offensive to me, when it's like, it's all just me. Any way I react is just me. I choose. You choose. I say that to people and they get confused and they want me to teach them, or they want me to blah, blah, and it's like, just listen to yourself. Figure out what was going on in your home when you were a kid. Figure out your story around love. Figure out your story around success. Like, what started feeling bad to you in a way of, like, giving your full love, and what boundaries were against it. That's the lesson I've learned. And that shit is going to keep coming up. I'll be on tour. I'll get the tour bus. I'll do the thing. I'll be at the prison, and I'll be triggered by something. And the most that I can do and understand now and keep understanding is that I have all of the tools within me to get through that shit. I always have. I've always been my greatest protector. I couldn't look at the shit that happened to me when I was a kid, because it was gonna fucking kill me. Now I can, because it's not gonna fucking kill me. It hasn't killed me. I'm only here to live more. So, big fucking lessons, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask on, like, sort of traveling away from the region and, like, being really involved in the arts community, and, like, all the people who are doing so much work to make events happen and, like, involve more people and draw audiences and essentially make artists and audiences and communities care about each other and invest in each other. Are there ways that you can think of that maybe this region, this area could be a little bit more ready to serve its arts community? I mean, how do we kind of foster that support? Because, like, there are these places like Austin where you feel like, okay, like, there's an energy here
Right.
But like, why do some people have it and some people don't? Like, that's like...
We need somebody with money. That's really, it's funny because you know that it's true.
Yeah.
You work here at the Collaborative, which is inside Proctor Schenectady. You know that this is all about money. We need a benefactor. We need a benefactor to come up in here and donate money. We need somebody with too much to recognize that they have too much and they have enough to give, because the capitalist society that isn't going to recognize that my salaried job isn't a salary and I'm off hours all the time. You know what I mean? So I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
If anybody's listening, if anybody gives a shit, dead ass, if anybody cares about this community, that's what I love. People who hold my hands after shows, people who are older in this community who have money, white people who look at me and say, it's so amazing what you're doing. It's so not amazing what you're doing. It's so amazing that you can look at me and tell me that it's amazing and then like not show up for the creative community. And I am mad about that. I've been consistently mad about that. A lesson I had to deal with here was being Olivia Quillio. People don't want to talk to me. They think I'm intimidating. Like, I had a persona that was so outside of me and was just like my name. And when that happens, a lot of times people think that you're already it, that you're set.
Yeah.
And it's like, bitch, I've been broke.
Yeah.
I've been hurting. I don't know how to ask for help in a lot of situations. That's a lesson I had to learn. So here's the help that I'm asking for in this community and in all communities. If anybody wants to show up for creative art, then you better start paying for it. There's a reason the king commissioned people. You know, if you want to pay like any homage to your ancestors, that's about what you can do right now. You can, and first and foremost in this capital region, focusing on people of color and people in the queer community. Yeah, I have a lot to say about that, but I think it starts there. It starts with people understanding that we do have a great energy, and it's not about like the little kids at the bottom of the hill scrapping their way up to the top. It's about you throwing the rope down.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to start throwing the rope, because there are people around here that have so much money and they just sit on it. And there are kids that are dying right here. There are kids that are being killed right here. There are kids that don't have enough to eat right here. To me, that's a little more important than creatives. But I see myself, too, as a speaker for those things. Though that's going to take other people's money, too.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, it's all about other people's money, I think. Because that's their lesson. Wake up. You already have enough. And you're going to get more.
Yeah.
The more we give to each other, the more we all get. There isn't one winner.
Right.
That's not how it works. We're not racing. We're trying to get together. You got to decide which one you're doing. If you're racing, then like, yeah, you're never going to have enough. But if you're giving a little, you're going to get more back. It's rich people, where you at?
Truly.
Give me your money. Give us your money.
Yeah.
Like, show us your support. That's support and love right now in that affluentness. So, yeah. And start feeding the kids. Start feeding the kids. Jesus.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For putting that out there. I think it's really important.
You gotta speak things into being, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's about calling attention, because just because everybody's thinking it doesn't mean it's necessarily being said. You know, so it seems that way a lot, that everybody kind of agrees with each other, but nobody's doing the action to like make it a reality.
Right. And if we don't talk about it, we can't come together in a community way.
But there has to actually be like a conclusion to it too, because I do think that happens a lot around here, where like we love to commiserate together, but there's not really like a solution or like an action or a first step towards something real. So
yeah, somebody has to put a foot forward, or take out a loan, or who knows, like,
yeah,
it's, to me, it's as basic as the truth. Like, unless you act upon the truth cannot be seen.
Yeah.
So we I think there are a lot of people that are acting right now on the truth, but they don't have a lot of resources, which is why I keep coming back to the money thing.
Yeah.
Because I know that someone's going to watch this.
Hopefully.
No, I'm calling it in. Mm-hmm. Someone's going to watch this. You're going to watch this, and you're going to understand that, like, I don't know, like, I have as much heart as I have, but, like, so does everybody.
Yeah.
So, like, how strong is your heart? Does your heart want other people to be brought up when your life is over? Do you want the world to be a better place when you die? That's it.
It's up to you.
Yeah, it's up to you. I do.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I can do. When I get enough money to be secure, Lord fucking knows my money will be back to those who need it. Mm-hmm. But there was such a focus in the American dream way for years, and in this disgusting, ever-facing white way, that you get as much as you can and you fucking hoard it. Mm. What does that do? Mm. That just makes us look like the historical, pun intended, whitewashes that we are. Mm-hmm. Where's the substance? Where's the substance when all you can do is sit on top of your big mountain of basically nothing, just something to prove to you that you did it, that you won. Mm-hmm. And if you had to win, that meant you were fighting. And why was your life a fight? My life isn't a fight. And I know there are plenty of people here whose lives aren't fights. You know, I get to eat every day. I had to face some dark shit, but I get to eat every day. I don't worry about getting shot when I get pulled over by a cop. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah,
you know, I don't live with the same amount of fear. How am I going to help that? How is somebody, if you can recognize the greatness in having the luxury of having enough money in the bank, how secure you already are, mm-hmm. and that you transferring any of that is just transferring a beautiful gift that you gave to yourself to somebody else. It's all just energy, dude.
Yeah.
It's weird that money's so important.
Yeah, but it is.
But
well, if people are looking to support you
mm-hmm.
and all of us,
yes,
and you do have a show coming up. I'm sure you probably have shows coming up before the show with us.
Yeah,
on
ish.
August 23rd.
Yes.
With Greens and The Age at Superior Merch.
So excited.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that.
Yes, I think it'll be a great bill.
I didn't realize it was like your birthday thing too.
Mm-hmm. My birthday's the day before. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Turning 29.
Feels good.
Yeah, feels good. It's like there's such a beautiful intimacy to The Age, to Adrian's music, and to Alex and the Greens music, and Greens music, rather.
True.
And I would like to bring together those two unlikely halves of a similar intimate whole, so that people can,
it's the best.
More people can meet each other in the community.
Exactly.
More people can, I just want to be a big umbrella. Like, it's raining, but like, come get it, you know?
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for being here today. This was great.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Love y'all. And thanks for doing what you're doing here, because without this, you know, you took a step into the unknown. So I can take more steps to the unknown. Look at that. Heard it here first, bitches.